Hey everyone, and welcome to another Wellness Wednesday. This is Dr. Witt, Dr. Mom ND, and today, as you can see, I'm at home because we're going to do a little show and tell today around my house. I finally had time to play with my Emf Meter Reader, whatever you want to call it, and have a bunch of stuff to share with you. So I guess I should back up and give you a little bit of history. I began looking into EMF radiation probably 5 years ago now, maybe. I was already in practice a couple years when it was coming onto my radar that not only would people have multiple chemical sensitivity disorders, but also electromagnetic radiation disorders. So I know there's a lot kind of going around with theories, we'll just say that. Some of them are farther out than others, but I know 5G has popped up on the radar in the last few months for some people. Now, I'm not going to indulge some of the farther out theories, but I can tell you that the Children's Health Defense is actively fighting with the FCC about cell phone radiation, about unrolling 5G, and the harmful effects that it has on people's health. So from what little I've been able to do digging into the history of cell phones and cell phone radiations and studying and the studies that have been done on them so far, is that the majority of cell phone studies were done in the early 90s. So obviously they are far, far outdated, and the few that have been done even back then already showed some significant effect on headaches, people's sleep. Honestly, I can remember going back to my grand rounds talks for fertility when I did male fertility. A big thing was to keep your cell phone out of your pocket because it make your sperm like sterile, basically. So anything that emits frequency, it can be measured, right? And if you get too harmful of a level, it can have negative effects. So I guess all of this kind of comes around to the fact that I'm not saying it's something you have to buy into, but it's something that as I uncover more and more, it makes sense because I do the Carroll method of food intolerance. And believe it or not, the premises of that is using frequency. So way back when Dr. Carroll created this method of food intolerance evaluation, he based it on the work of a guy who had been studying the frequencies of the human body and understanding that different organs had different frequencies. This is no different than the fact that when your heart gets hooked up to an EKG, right? The things that go on the graph, like it's measuring, it's an electrocardiogram, right? So it's measuring frequency. So there are things that can disturb that frequency, right? Like when you have a pacemaker or something, they'll tell you not to do certain things because it can mess with that device. So understanding that everything has frequency and there can be beneficial frequencies, neutral even, and harmful, it's not that far out then to understand that as we unroll more and more electronics, more and more Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and now this 5G, that we're talking about not even double or triple, because I want to say the human stuff was around like 7 to 10 like megahertz, and 5G were up in the gigahertz, I believe. I don't know. But I mean, we're talking many times more. So it's not a conspiracy theory to think that these frequencies can disrupt our cellular function, because our cellular function does have frequency as well. So that brings me back to the readings around our house and the devices. So I also noticed that in the last few years, it seems like we've been sleeping poor, we are more irritable, our focus is worse. It seems like sometimes our kids can get really hyper, which I know little boys do, but the more we keep them off of things like phones and tablets and TVs, the more calm they definitely seem to be. So on top of all of that, when I did see some of these theories about 5G and coronavirus, I did start looking for actual factual information, and I found quite a few studies that have shown in the last few years that cell phone frequency, Wi-Fi frequency, these high power transmissions lines, they do have a measurable negative effect on your immune system. So not only does poor diet and inflammation and refined sugar suppress your immune system, but also bad electromagnetic frequencies will also suppress your immune system. So it's, again, there's some logical connections, right? I'm not saying that 5G created coronavirus, but just like we know getting the flu shot creates viral interference and makes you more susceptible to getting coronavirus. If you are someone who is using a lot of technology or you're around these high transmission lines, it could further be suppressing your immune system, thus making you more susceptible to coronavirus or any infection for that matter, right? Like maybe you're someone who gets the flu every year. Or bronchitis or a sinus infection, right? I mean, there's all kinds of viral illnesses out there, upper and lower respiratory. So my thinking is, about the time I got pregnant, I was trying to get pregnant with my first child. I was trying to green up our home. So, you know, I wanted low VOC paint in the bedroom and where the baby was going to be. And the furniture we had handmade by the Amish with no toxic glues. It's all hardware installed, screws, and I found a food grade based varnish that they agreed to use on the furniture. I used, you know, organic bedding, and I got an organic natural mattress, and I put a Himalayan salt lamp in there and an air purifier, and did all these things, right? And then realized that I'd stuck a baby monitor in there and that the Wi-Fi router was underneath the baby's room. And so I started to look into this. And one of the first things I did, one of the first things you can do, honestly, is to get a surge protector that has a timer on it. So you can set it. In mine, I got on Amazon. I don't think it was that expensive, maybe around 20 bucks. And it's got 2 panels on it. So one you can have on all the time, and one can be attached to the timer. So I had ours set for the timer to turn off this side, which was the modem and the router, from 10 p.m. I believe to 6 a.m. So every night the Wi-Fi shuts off, you know. So that's one way. Just turn it off, you know. You can turn the Wi-Fi off. The other thing I do is I always put my cell phones on airplane mode at night. I know maybe for some people that is not feasible because you have to be on call for a job or, you know, family emergencies or whatever. But I've been doing that for about 2 years and I haven't missed anything major yet. So, and that's my chickens, because we're outside. So they're right below me, and I think they're mad because the backyard's all sunny and they have no shade. So they're stuck under the deck. So you can get the surge protector with the timer to turn your Wi-Fi off. You can do your phone on airplane mode, or just turn the Wi-Fi off on your phone if you're not using it actively. What else? And then the next thing I discovered was Ethernetting your house, which I'm still working on. So I haven't quite figured it out yet. But I did buy another device on Amazon that was around $100, I think. And it's right now it's 2 units that I haven't quite hooked up, but it's like 2 giant plug-in devices. They're like this big, and you plug one in and you put your router into that. And then the other one you plug into any other outlet, and it basically becomes a hard line. So it's like one less Wi-Fi device. So if maybe you just had one computer in your house and like one TV that you use to stream stuff, right? You could plug that TV into this device in the wall and the computer into it. And what it does is uses the existing electrical system in your house as the internet. So that's an easy thing to do. It basically goes back to what Ethernet internet was, hardlining. And then after that, I mean, like I said, I bought the device. I haven't quite got there trying it yet. The other first thing I did was I bought these things called safe sleeves for my phone. So there are a lot of these things out there. This just happened to be one that kept popping up in my newsfeed as an advertisement. So I got one. Well, you can't see the one I'm using as I'm talking to you on it, but it's it actually comes out. So this case thing that it's in, it's a magnet on the back, so it comes off of the case, so you can pop it in and out as you want. Otherwise, it's just in this like thing, and it's a little magnet case. So this is their little logo, safe sleeve, and it says right inside their radiation protection. They've got a couple little pockets. For this one though, like I said, this is permanent, so this phone pops in here. And so one of the things that why I wanted to wait to do this talk is because I wanted to figure out my EMF Meter Reader. That is such a tongue twister. And actually see if some of these devices worked, because I got these, and then like I said, I've got the blue blocker glasses for myself. My kids, theirs were 14, I think mine were 25, my husband's were 18. We got them all on Amazon. I know that's not an EMF thing, but again, it has to do with devices and the light and those frequencies also disrupting. So we can always do these. And then I got a couple new things. So one is called Smart Dots, and this company makes quite a few things now. Again, I wanted to measure some devices without these on and with them on to see what the difference is. And I think I'm gonna have to do a little more information or digging in resourcing on these to understand, and I'll get to that because of the readings I got with the meter reader. So I ordered 5 of these, I think for $100. I put one on our Netflix, the Amazon Fire Stick on the TV. I put one on the Wi-Fi router. I think I put one on my iPad. Oh no, I have 3 left, so I only put on 2 so far, because then I realized I should stop putting them on and start measuring things before I put them on to see if it helped. And then also I reached out to Hedron Life Source, which is a company based out of my hometown in Rhinelander that makes a line of EMF protection devices. So they have a similar thing as this that you stick on the back of your phone. They've got a bio tag, or like a little 1-inch by 1-inch card you keep on your person. I found something similar to that on Amazon too. It was called a Quanthor 10-in-1 EMF protection Tesla technology geopathic stress zone protection scalar shield. The one on Amazon was only $42, so you know, maybe you can try that. Otherwise, the Smart Dot makes one called a Bio Dot. So the Smart Dots were designed to go on devices. The Bio Dots were designed to be worn on like a necklace or a bracelet or kept on your person. They've now got sleep dots that you put by your bed, and they also have was it Safe Dot or Home Dot? They're green. So these ones are orange, the sleep ones are blue, the Bio Dots are red, and then there's a green one. So they've got a few different things. And right now, I just got an email. I should set up a wholesale account with them too, probably, if I'm going to try to use this stuff. But they have, at least the email to me was, I think it was thank you 40 was the promotion code for 40% off. So try that, or if it doesn't work, message me or email me and I can find out what the code was for sure. So I used the safe sleeves on the phone, trying the Smart Dots, and then Hedron Life Source. What I really wanted to get from them was the Smart Meter Guard, and that's where we're going to go on a little field trip in a minute. So I didn't think that we had a smart meter on our house. I was sadly mistaken. I went on YouTube and it was like, how do you know if you have a smart meter? Because I knew they did something to our meter a few years ago, but they never said anything to us. And so I went online and figured out how to know if you have a smart meter, and sure enough, I went around the house and I was like, God darn it, we have a smart meter. And those things are notorious for EMF. So I'm going to show you with the meter reader what that looks like. So Hedron has, it's like a mesh metal cover. It looks just like the plastic piece that goes over your meter, which you'll see. And it just goes over that and everything continues to work fine. Hedron's retails for $99, but I actually did find one on Amazon. Again, I don't know if they're going to be similar quality or not. You know, sometimes you get what you pay for. But the Smart Meter Guard that I found on Amazon was actually $78.95, and it's the same metal mesh, you know, like cylinder type thing that you just, it's a cover that you put right over the meter. So I'm going to order one of those pretty soon, because now that I have the meter reader, I can get the reading now, and then I can put the cover on and get the reading again. So I also found a really interesting product on Amazon called the E-Link EMF Whole House Plug. That was only $50, and it's just a little tiny black plug, and you stick it in an outlet, and it's supposed to neutralize all of the EMF in 1,500 square feet in your home. So like all kinds of different options. The reason I haven't jumped all over any one of these yet to recommend is because I have to understand better what it means to either mitigate EMF, to actually reduce the reading, versus harmonize it. So with the safe shields, the safe sleeves on my phone, I'm pretty sure, I mean, it says radiation protection. I think it's supposed to be blocking EMF. The Smart Dots, the BioShield type stuff from Hedron, it's all about harmonizing it. They're using certain minerals or earth elements, even gemstone, I think, in certain cases to harmonize it. So I don't know then if that means that you should get a lower EMF reading, or if the reading stays the same, but the negative effects are mitigated, maybe. So that's where I have to do a little more research. But the point is, I got this reader, EMF Meter Reader. So I did some research and followed a couple people, and this was one that was not only recommended, but actually within my price range, because I didn't want to spend $400 on one of these. So this one I found on Amazon for just under 150 bucks. It's the GQ EMF 390, very easy to use. So as you can see right now, it's in all-in-one mode. So it's showing several different readings. This one down here is EMF, and then this one up here is RF for radio frequency, and then EF. So EMF is the electromagnetic frequency, RF is radio frequency, which interestingly I'm going to have to look at, because sometimes when I've been testing things, the EMF doesn't go off the chart, but the RF goes off the chart. So that might be something different. And then there's a couple different ways to view it, but the easiest mode I can go into is this called vertical mode. There's a table mode and then a graph, so it'll show you like over time how things go. And what little time I did play with this, the EMF fluctuates, it pulses through time. That's what it naturally does. So I've already figured that with my phone, as I was doing this, I was getting kind of a consistent reading, and then all of a sudden it would like spike. And then it would be consistent again for like another 30 seconds to a minute, and then all of a sudden it would spike again. So I think the spiking thing is probably more of what we want to make sure is being somewhat mitigated. So this is what it looks like in what's called vertical mode. It just looks like your regular old meter, and it just tells you, it looks like right now, you can see it says Wi-Fi phone. It's picking up the phone that I'm using to talk to you, because that's what it's pointed at. And it's within the normal to medium range. I actually even will tell you, it gives you an example. I know it's backwards for you guys, but it says Wi-Fi phone on there. So it comes with this little card and somewhat of a little self-starter booklet. But this is the EMF radiation detector, and it gives you the EMF, EF, and RF ranges and where they fall into. So this is the card. And I know, again, I'm sorry, it's backwards for you guys, but the EMF normal or safe in the green zone is considered less than 2.5, and the RF less than 1. And I'm not going to get into the, what do you call them? Units. It's been a while since I was in math and science classes. But the EMF that we're measuring is in little m, big G, and then the RFs are in, I think it's microwatts per centimeter squared. But anyway, so less than 2.5 is okay for EMF. Greater than 2.5, they recommend you check it regularly. Greater than 30, not recommended for long stays, and greater than 100, avoid a long time stay in that area. So we're going to come back to these numbers in a minute, but I used this little reader, and the first thing I did was my phone. So I took the phone out of the case, went all around the phone, all over it, and I'll show you what I mean. So I take this out of here. Well, I'm gonna wave at people. Hello, Carol. Hello, Jill. It's filling up my screen with telling me to wave to people. So, hello. So here, if I just, you can see as I move this around, the number changes, right? So because the waves aren't linear, they're like 3-directional. So as you move the phone around, sometimes the number changes. But for the most part, it's usually around 2.5 to 3 is what it seems like. So then I put it back in the case, close it up. And I have read that people are like, well, yeah, you have to keep the side that's closed, like, pointed to you, because if it's still open here, it's not really, doing anything. The protection is this part, right? So when I do this, it doesn't really change that much, to be honest. So it pretty much stays the same, but what I noticed is when I get over to the side, I don't know if it'll do it or not, it was spiking. So it was going from like 2.5 or 3. I was getting like, all of a sudden I'd get a hit of 11, 19, 30. So that tells you what your cell phone is doing as it's, you know, getting different waves. I don't know if there it did 4.1, but it was weird. So I mean, you kind of got to play with it, you know, in the space of the item for, oh, there it spiked. See, 11.5. Oh, went away. Did it too quick. See if I can get it to do it again. So it's like, it is right in the opening though. That's where it spikes. So, you know, it probably does offer a little protection. See there, it's 7.3. I just got 30. It went to 30. So see, it does 6.1, 12.5, and then it'll go right back down to 5.8. So it's, you know, 49.3 high. Ouch. So that's probably why, right, this is going to be a hard thing to sort of monitor, because it's gonna fluctuate over time. But I think the idea is that this offers some protection. Now, the smart dots, again, I don't know. This, I think, is really legitimately supposed to minimize the EMF, but I'm going to have to go back and look at that too, because it really didn't do a whole super lot, I feel like. And this, the only one I had on was on our router, our Wi-Fi router downstairs. So first I tried to do the reading with it on, then I unstuck it because it's a sticker, and it didn't really do a whole lot different. The whole thing was kind of like the 3 to 6 range, and then over in this one left corner of the unit it was always spiking to 10 to 15. So I just took the sticker off, did it again, got the same readings, put the sticker back on, did it again, and got the same readings. So again, that's a harmonizer. So I don't know if it's actually going to get you a reduced EMF reading, or if it's just going to, again, mitigate the harmfulness of the waves that are coming off somehow. So that's the two that I have, the safe sleeve and the smart dots. And I've been debating about ordering a bio dot or one of these bio tabs or something to keep on my person. Use that thank you 40% off with the Energy Dots company. Yeah, www.energydots.com, made in the UK. So again, you can check those out. And now I think we will take our field trip, because I think it's really cool. Kind of geeky with this stuff. So bring my meter, bring my card. All right, and here we go. So let's see if we can make this not that bad as I walk through. I'm not going to go through the backyard because the chickens are back there. So I'll take you guys all the way through my house and outside to my smart meter. Don't look at my house, it's messy. We have a contractor coming over to do drywall in the basement because Lord knows we don't have time to do it. All right, so front yard, and let me flip the camera around so you can see. So over on the side of our house, oh, I probably should have turned the air conditioning off because that's going to be on. So that's our reader, and just going to hang on to this and show you this little doodad. Look at that. 184, 200. Look at that thing. That's awful. You know, and as you move it around, it changes, but 70, 60, still high, 50, 30, 67, whoa, 122, 149. It always seems like right up here in this corner is where it gets, yeah, there it is, 197, yeah, 196. See, so just the difference there, you know, so it's right up here somewhere. So that's the idea. That's the scary thing. You don't even know that that's doing that. So as you can see, I should flip it back. This is the part that I'm talking about, this clear plastic piece. They make a metal mesh piece that just covers that up. So you can order one of those, and you can order a meter, and then you can check for yourself. You can check before and after. But like I said, Hedron was the first one I saw that had one of those, and he went out with his meter and showed the measurements on the meter outside without the cover, and then on the cover, and then actually on the inside of the house wall. So I'm gonna try that next, because actually I just remembered that. So let's go see what the interior measurement is. So now I'm in my house, and I'm gonna take a wild guess because I'm in the living room, but I don't know, it's more down probably behind the kitchen, so I don't know if I'm gonna get the best reading in the house. We'll just see if anything changes here. Oh, it's kind of down there back in the corner on the outside wall. Probably not going to get the best reading just because, like I said, I don't have direct access. It would literally have to be like behind the stove. I don't know. I'm a little high up here too. 4.5. It says power line though. I mean, it's picking that up, right? Interesting. So, anywho, that was the fun for today. Like I said, that one is probably next to your Wi-Fi router, the most concerning one, that if you wanted to do some of this stuff around your house to try to manage some of this EMF. So again, the simplest thing you can do is get the smart meter cover for the outside, which is definitely going to be, I think I'm going to do that on my list today. And then the plug, right? The power strip with the timer, so you can turn the Wi-Fi off at night. Move the Wi-Fi or the router, if possible, to some far remote corner of your house, not under someone's bedroom, preferably, right? If possible. And you could try Etherneting your house. You could try doing the hardline things with using the existing power cords to lessen the amount of Wi-Fi buzzing around your house. You could do the safe sleeve or the smart dot on your devices. These are supposed to be able to be used on anything, right? So like I said, I put one on the Fire Stick, put one on the router. You can put them on your laptops, your iPads, and then you also have the bio ones, right? So the things that you can wear or carry. So there's necklaces, there's bracelets, there's things you stick in your pocket, your wallet, your purse. Ones people just leave in their vehicles. And what was the other one? Oh, and then the whole home thing. So like with the Energy Company, they have like this green prism thing that's like $200, and you can leave it in the center of your house, right? And Hedron has similar stuff. Whole home harmonizers, as well as, like I said, I just stumbled on that E-Link EMF whole house plug for $50 on Amazon too. So seemed like decent-ish reviews, like 4 stars or so. So those are all things that you can, try to put in your house. So, if you've noticed that people aren't sleeping well, people are crabby and irritable, minus any other reasons they might be, and, you're not thinking clearly, you're kind of having brain fog, maybe you're just sick a lot more, and there just doesn't seem to be any other reason for it. The studies, like I said, they have shown that being subjected to too much EMF can suppress your immune system. So it's stuff to consider, right? More pieces of the puzzle. I don't think any of this is very conspiratory because, like I said, we know that many organs of the human body have their own frequency as well. That's obviously true because that's what I measure with Chiral food intolerance. But I think that is some easy things to do to start, because what's it going to hurt, right? If anything, it's going to help. Becky has a question. Thank you. Do you know if you put a cover on our smart meter, if it will push out more of the EMF into the wall of your home? So that's a really good question. And if you go to Hedron Life Source's webpage, the first video that they have, he shows you that isn't what happens. So he does the reading outside, he does the reading inside the wall, because it's like a shed wall or something, so he has easy access to it. Then he puts the cover on, does the reading outside, and comes in and does the reading on the inside, and they're both reduced. So that was where I thought of that too, because just like with this phone cover, it seems like, well, now it's pushing it all out the side, right? But even without the cover on, it was doing that to some extent. So from what I can tell, should not be an issue, but Hedron had some good videos for that. So again, that was Hedron Life Source. So check them out. Check out some of the stuff on Amazon. Like I said, I was like, oh wow, look at this great company, and they're from my hometown, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna carry these products in my, store that I'm trying to build. And then I went on Amazon. I was like, oh, wait a minute, there's stuff on here as well. Oh yeah, you're welcome, Becky, no problem. And so I think, just like with anything, there's going to be good products and bad products, and you'll probably have to try a few. And like I said, I bought the Meter Reader because I thought, oh, this is how I'll know for sure if these products work. But again, I think I've got a little more work for myself because clearly it's not just the EMF meter reading alone that is benefiting, because everybody says they love these things and that they work really great, and yet when I measured, you know, it didn't seem to make much of a difference when I had it on or when I had it off. So maybe this doesn't directly reduce the EMF, but it's harmonizing it, which is something different. So I'll have to research a little more and get back to you on that one. But that was really all I had for today. I'm glad I finally sat down and went through this stuff because it's somewhat helpful. I was about to buy a whole bunch more of these smart dots and a bio dot for myself, and they have little bracelets they were saying work really well for kids who just seem like totally hyperactive and unable to focus and listen. So I was gonna get a couple for my kids, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna do a little more reading and see if I can better understand a direct reduction in EMF reading versus the harmonizing aspect of it, and then I can make better recommendations for you all, and decide maybe which companies it is worth getting accounts with or not, so that I can offer those services either through my store or on my website. So again, this was all about EMF and trying to reduce or harmonize some of that negative frequency in your home. And if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, hit like or share, and so I know that this was helpful and that you tuned in. And then we'll see. I don't really have any ideas for next week. Maybe if I do some of this research, I'll figure out a little bit more about it. Oh, because of the RF, I didn't have time to look that up, but I did notice that with the cell phone, even though when it was out of the case, you had a pretty consistent 2.5 to 3 mg reading with the EMF, that the RF would spike and get rather high. So I think that might be the difference between like the Wi-Fi and the cell phone part, maybe. But again, that's more research for me because I was all focused on EMF, and then I was like, what's this RF thing that keeps changing? So like you could see on the smart meter, that went off really well with the EMF, but the RF was actually what was changing on the cell phone, now that I think about it. So, all right, that's all for today. We'll see next week if I get time to dig into this a little deeper and share some more information with you. Otherwise, like I said, these are just some super easy ways to try to, you know, harmonize the energy and the frequencies in your house, and see if it maybe helps you sleep better, helps you focus, helps everybody be in a better mood. You never know. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I will see you all next week. Have a great rest of your day.